G'day guys, just checking in for another year. Now year 8 out here with Firewood. I'm going to just zoom out a bit, the old fashioned way, walk backwards. First of all, sorry it's a bit windy, typical Marlborough, spring and summer. Oh yeah, and sorry I haven't upgraded my phone yet. I'm still on an S10 that I swapped for a bottle of rum with a cracked screen, so one of these days I'll get a new phone, but I'm a cheapskate. So yeah, 8 years old. Most of what's picture, I'll keep walking backwards. So yeah, these are all getting pretty large now. The ones on the outside here, I've tried to plant more sort of ornamentals near the fence in case I want to keep them. So you can see that there, a leucoxylon right in front of us flowering. Typically winter flowering or early spring. You can see that one's got creamy flowers, but it's covered in flowers, and if it wasn't so windy and cold today it'd be covered in bees. And next to it, just a hole, this one, which is probably a seedling from the same parent. Let's go to the fence. So that one's red, so yeah, quite different, but yeah, definitely related. So just another example of variation in the eucalyptus. The genetic variation is quite vast. Some of them come out, well, here's another example. Here's a completely runty something right in front of me, probably ovada. It's just sat there and done nothing, and that seems to be quite common. Oh, there's another one over there. You'll get these trees that just, whether they're inbred or whatever, they just do nothing, just not even suppressed, like it's got a clear view of the sky. So yeah, quite interesting, the variation, whereas like the radiata pine, like those, are pretty much all much of muchness. What else to talk about here? This, so these are all 8 years, so this is, I'm taking this video in 2024 in October, so springtime, so see the grass is looking pretty lush. Won't look like that in a couple of months, it'll be all yellow. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we planted all these, my brother and I, in 2016. It would have been September or October, so almost exactly 8 years, and they would have been seedlings that we planted the year before, so that would have been 2015. So 9 years since seeds were planted, probably almost exactly. We grew those from seed ourselves, just from various local trees. So none of this has cost us a cent as far as outlay, apart from a bit of potting mix. So talking about species, that there in front of me, I was going to bring a tape measure, but I forgot. That there is a globulus, well actually the subspecies Eucalyptus, and I'll try and zoom in because it's actually got quite a lot of, it's been flowering for a few years and got quite a lot of seed pods on it, so big seed pods for a gum. You might be able to see them there, so it's absolutely covered in seeds and pods. So yeah, be interesting to see whether any of these start self-seeding, but that's now quite a big tree. Be a good 20 centimeters diameter probably, but I'll leave them there for now because I quite like those. They're quite attractive when they flower because they've got quite big flowers, big white flowers. But if you left that there, that would probably get enormous in another 20 years. So I have to come down eventually. Okay, carry on. Still a few cordata standing. That's the one there, the bluey coloured one, with a heart-shaped silver dollar gum. Quite a nice ornamental tree. They hold their gum, their leaves down, branches down low. That one's quite good form. So some of these I've been taking home for foliage. Just shove them in a vase, and yeah, they're quite nice. That one's getting quite big, probably needs to come down. Beautiful bark too, that mottled bark. Another tree that's probably 20 centimeters. So every tree that's 20 centimeters diameter is probably, if you divide 20 by 8, well, by my maths that's 2.5, so 2.5 centimeters, which is an inch a year. It's not bad going for this place, which probably gets 500 or 600 mils of rain if you're lucky, which is bugger all. So yeah, I've started cutting down a few of these, partially because the ones next to the vineyard here, I don't want to get too big because I've already had the odd one that's gone over the fence, fallen the wrong way, and I've had to tidy it up. Luckily they're not too big, but yeah, this was an oblique here that I cut down a month or so back, and it was getting huge. So you can't quite see the growth rings there anymore, but oh well, there you go. That's one there. So that would be close to, you know, they can be slow starters, but that one's probably getting close to 2 inches a year growth, phenomenal growth. And that's, well, that's US 13 boot, so you can go away and work out what that is. That's bloody big tree. And oblique, if you're going to plant oblique for firewood, that's just about impossible to split with an axe at that size. If I let that get any bigger, I would have had to use a wood splitter. The axe just bounces off it. So if you're choosing species, oblique might not be the best choice unless you've got a wood splitter. We've got here some coppice from a tree I cut down last year. What was that? Might have been gunny eye or one of its relatives, you know, with the little round stem clasping leaves in the juvenile. And I've just left one stem there to come away. See the stump, that was quite a big tree too. But yeah, the coppice seems to be going quite good. That's over my head already, so probably 2 meters. And don't know whether I'll leave it there because I don't really want huge trees next to the fence. So a few more I've cut down here. There's a couple more there. Coppicing, pine tree I planted since. So just a slash on the ground that Serena's cutting up. That's, I think that was Novada, which I've let coppice, or more pollard, but I should have cut it back to the ground. I don't know, obviously never got round to it at the time, so it's sprouted away from the stem. So I've just left one on there, so you know, another couple of years that'll be big again. Another cordata there. What else we got here? Oops, sorry about that. So yeah, this is looking over towards the 7-year-olds. Bit of a mix of different species in there. There's a globulus there, which is quite big. Some of them have got really big. They obviously like the dry. Here we've got, cut these down a month or so back. This was a couple of Pinus radiata here and beside it. Yeah, and these have got really big as well. So yeah, you can see again the growth rate. Another one that's probably getting on for, you know, maybe 1.5 inches a year. Very good, yeah, quite rapid growers. And these radiata, they don't need any care. You just put them in the ground, not like the gums. The gums, you got to get them established, so you got to keep them alive for a year or two through the droughts and that, and they don't like exposure, whereas radiata, you bung them in the ground. But yeah, timber or firewood is a pain. It's covered in gum, you get sticky hands. The wood's really light, so not great firewood, but I like having a bit of it on hand because it's great kindling wood and it dries out quick. The stuff I cut down a month or so back is already quite light, so it's already drying out. So yeah, I still like to grow a few. And also we cut down a few for Christmas trees at 2 or 3 years old. There's the other stump there from one beside it. Alrighty, coming along. So here's what I cut down today. So this one I cut down because it's next to the fence, looking out to the vineyard here. There's Whitehaven Winery over in the background. So this was a Knighton, so there's all a slash, and you can see here this is mid-October, and look at all the new growth on that. So it's already started growing quite hard. A bit of a shame to cut it down, but if I'd left it here it will start getting enormous. So that one, probably a slow starter, but yeah, starting to get quite big, so cut it down. So I'll show you, oh, that's what I had on the ground by the trailer. I'll show you in a minute. Alright, so into the stuff that's 1 year younger. This is 7 years old. So got a bit of a canopy going on here. There's a bit more of a mix of conifers in here. So this is Lusitanica, which is a relative macrocarpa. I've had to prune these because they grow right to the ground like that one if you don't. But yeah, they're quite nice trees when you prune them, but obviously not as fast growing as radiata or eucalyptus. Oh, there's Pinus radiata there. The same deal, had to prune it, otherwise they get full of knots. There's Pinus radiata that's quite big. Yeah, that's going to have to come down because it's huge. You can see it's got pine cones on it already. Alrighty. What else? Nightens there, getting big. Another one that will have to come down sooner rather than later. That's looking up through the row there, so I can't remember what row spacing we used. It's 1.5 meters, I think. So they're quite close together. There's a radiata that hasn't been pruned. One that has. Yeah, they get enormous in no time. There's a Viminalis that's got really big. Like I say, genetic variation is huge in these things. Like that one's enormous, and yet others are just spindly little rubbish, nothing rumped. This big globulus there. Nice bark on those. What else? Into some poplars. These were a waste of time. Never really come to much. Could be just a variety. Looking back into the 7-year-olds. Oh, that's actually dead, that tree. I have to go and cut that down. Well, the top of it's dead. That was no bleaker. Just got too dry, but anyway, he's a good size. He can come down. What else? Oh, big pine there. Couple of big gums. What's that? Globulus. I think both of those might be pretty hard to kill once they're established globulus. They obviously really love, well, not love, but they tolerate the dry. There's something living down there. Rabbit, maybe. These, I talked about these last time. These are Pulchella, which is kind of an ornamental. Yeah, look like they're about to flower, but not quite. Alrighty, moving on. So these are into the 6-year-olds now, so again, some of these pines are quite big. Big one there. Some stuff that just hasn't grown at all. It's Clada calyx. Yeah, runty, hasn't come to anything, so whether that's genetic or it just doesn't like the site, I don't know, but none of them have got much bigger than that, or they've died. A lot of these are Viminalis, and I wouldn't say they're doing stunningly well, but they're growing. Not sure what that is. That's either Corymbia or what's it called? Angophora, one or the other. Just sort of experimental. They don't really, not really a Marlborough tree, but it's just experimenting with them. Could be maculata. Still alive. Carrying on, there's a globulus that's got big. A couple of obliqua down there, so obliqua and globulus seem to be the best trees through here. Yeah, what else? Another good obliqua. Like I say, just difficult to split, that's all. A couple of pine trees that never got cut down for firewood. There's a nightens there showing its juvenile foliage. Actually quite attractive when they're still in their juvenile form. So yeah, they seem to get away and go. I'd say that one will start getting huge this year. A couple of pine trees there for Christmas trees. Probably be a good Christmas tree this year. In a few months. Little Lusitanica, God, the grass is long. A couple of sheep over there watching me. Oh yeah, another couple of dead trees. Not sure what they are. That one might have been an oblique. Don't know. But it's dry summer. And walking back. Oh, this is probably the bit of the driest ground here. So just got a couple of pine trees in there. But yeah, they survive, but once they get their roots down, they start going. Well, there's one there that's a bit older, quite big now. And a globulus that's got quite big, so I don't mind the dry once they're away. Alright, till next time.